This game 7 from Tallahassee. There's the bracket, all 3 days. And yes, we're going to have a 7th and decisive game. And the first pitch between the Noles and the Tigers, straight ahead.
Oh, for sure. They just passed the bat in that last game, game 6. Something we've been seeing Auburn do this entire regional. They can light up the scoreboard in the hurry with their ability to hit the long ball through the lineup.
Danley started against USF yesterday through 5 scoreless innings. A hit. So she makes her 2nd start of the regional, and it's in the game 7 decisive contest. Here we are. Taken first.
With Auburn's offensive plan, they've been able to adjust quickly. With a base hit on the ground up the middle from Peralta.
Freshman Anna Lee Adams takes a strike from Danley. 1 hit in the earlier game today for Adams, but it was a 2-out single in the 5th. The bases were empty, 2 outs. She got a board. That kept the inning alive, and they wound up scoring 4 times. Something that Auburn has done so well in this regional, and really towards the back half of the season, is scoring with 2 outs.
Oh, we saw this yesterday, Mark, when Ashton Danley was in the circle. Drop balls down in the zone were very effective on both sides of the plate, but really struggled to throw that off-speed pitch for a strike. We've seen that so far today as well.
Ground ball up the middle. That's a replay of the ball hit by Peralta, and Adams does the same thing into left center field. So back-to-back hits for the Tigers to begin the game.
Yeah, and without that changeup, not having command and not being able to throw that pitch for a strike right now, Auburn just able to time up those pitches down to the zone, not trying to do too much with it, just base hit up the middle.
KK McCrary's home run tied the game at 1 earlier today. Takes outside for ball 1. Curry went to dead center field in the 4th inning of the first game today to tie it at 1, and then it really sparked the offense the next couple of innings. Besides the home run, McCurry had a single. She went 2 for 3. These teams had not played in the regional until the earlier game today. Auburn played 2 extra inning games against South Florida in this regional, losing the first. So they had to come through the losers bracket after dropping the first game. That's foul near third. Beecham tried to sell it, but it's a foul ball.
Well, look, the first game of the regional went to extra innings, and Auburn came up short. So they were competitive in that game as well. And since then, they have won 3 straight games in this regional, riding that momentum.
You get a sense, since the Seminoles with Danley in the circle, if Auburn could continue that offensive momentum with even just a single run here in the first, it would be a really big deal for the Tigers. Well, the off-speed pitch there. Prairie couldn't get out to it, and she strikes out.
Oh, and this is a good sign for Ashton Danley. This is the first time she's thrown her off speed for a strike, and look how far in front KK McCrary is of that pitch. She tunnels it so well. It comes out just like her drop ball, her hard velo pitches. And that is the difference maker pitch for Ashton Danley.
Roller sees that first pitch off speed. May have checked her swing, but nonetheless, strike call. Roller's hit the 3-run homer in the 5th inning earlier today against the Noles, and I think that was the hit that when that went over the outfield fence, the Auburn dugout, I think, really felt like, hey, yeah, this is a winnable game. We can get this to a game 7. Lefty-lefty matchup. So far, tough on Wohlers.
Well, now that Danley has found that rhythm, found that release point of her off-speed pitch, she's been going to it back-to-back pitches.
Auburn put the first 2 on base, 2 on, 1 out now for the cleanup hitter Wohlers. We'll see a 2-2 pitch. Wohlers' home run in game 1 today was her 10th of the year. What a 3-2 pitch from Danley. Got her to go after it. May have been down and out of the zone, but a strikeout, and that's back-to-back Ks for Danley.
Probably the best pitch we've seen from Danley early in this game. It's a drop ball, and you are right, Mark. It starts at the knees and just tumbles down into the dirt, but with 2 strikes, Wohlers has to protect a big pitch at a big moment there for Ashton Danley.
Brings up Rose Roach, another lefty. Danley pumps in a first pitch strike. Roach and Wohlers hit back-to-back homers in the 5th inning earlier today. Roach's 5th home run of the year. Auburn's been so good with 2 outs in this regional. Roach a big part of that. She's 4 for 7 with 2 outs in the regional. But the degree of difficulty goes up here, lefty-lefty facing Ashton Danley. Little pop-up right side. The second baseman on the outfield grass is Hartley. Couple of hits began the inning, but Torres was 2 for 3 in the first game today against the Tigers, but the rest of the team was just 1 for 20. That other hit was a Katie Dack home run. Aaron's first pitch is a strike. Torres has had 2 hits in each of the 3 games that Florida State has played in this regional. Lays down the bunt. It's going to force the third baseman to scoop it up, and Wohlers' throw is late. Torres, sensing the fact that the Noles want to take an early lead, bunts her way on to begin the bottom of the first.
Just angles the barrel down, goes right up the middle. She was really trying to have S.J. Guerin field that ball. Why? She's a left-handed pitcher. It's a tough turnaround for a left-handed pitcher to turn and throw out Isa Torres at first base. It's a good decision there from Torres.
Just shows you the versatile player that Isa Torres is. Second pitch of the first game, she homered. Second pitch of this game, she bunts her way on.
I mean, a lot of people say, hey, this player's got some speed and power. Torres has speed and power. Elite speed and power.
It's down low to Janai Kerr. 2 balls, no strikes. Janai did have a walk ahead of the Dack home run in the earlier game today. Also a sack bunt, so she was officially 0 for 1 in the first game with a run scored. A little bit inside. Aaron behind 3-0. Well, we spoke with Guerin right after the game ended earlier, about 45 minutes ago. And the first question I asked her was, how are you feeling physically? She said, not bad, but we'll see what happens when the adrenaline wears off. Did the adrenaline wear off over the 45 minutes that she had before she made it back onto the field for this game?
I do not think so, but you could tell just talking to her, she is giving it her all. I mean, she was a little gassed and ready for a little bit of a break, but this is win or go home time. She's going to give it all she's got.
Bouncing ball towards second. You had Torres. She was off with the pitch out of the hand of Guerin. Kerr thrown out by Roach. Torres advances 60 feet down to second with one out.
This is something Florida State could not do in the last game. They just didn't have as many base runners and opportunities. Situational hitting, put the runners in motion. It was a beautifully executed hit and run. Resulted in an out, but Torres is now in scoring position.
Dak with a 2-run homer in the first game, leading the team in home runs. Seemed to float in the air for a while, but it stayed in the strike zone at 50 miles per hour.
That one had some good hang time on it. Just love to see her spin rate, those revolutions on the ball. It's she's so crafty, such a lively wrist. Really doesn't seem at this point attain the same velocity on the ball that she had last game. Now she hasn't thrown a lot of her hardest pitches. She's really been relying on her spinnier pitches, off-speed pitches.
Dak smash, knocked down. Wohlers picks it up, throws to first, out. Very close play. We'll see if Lonnie Alameda wants to use one of her 2 challenges, but ends up now looking like they're going to keep that in their pocket.
Boy, this ball was squared up from Dak, stays inside the ball. An even better play by Wohlers. Just turns her glove over, slides her knee to the ground, does everything she can to keep the ball in front, and is able to make the play. Would have liked to have seen Annalie Adams stretch a little more toward the play.
Hit deep, left center field. Edenfield puts Florida State in front. The unquestioned leader of the Noles in a must-have game, going after the first pitch and giving her team the lead.
This pitch bleeds right over the middle of the plate. Edenfield knows it right off the bat, bringing that emotion to this Game 7. Can't swing any better than that. She's balanced, she elevates the ball, gives her team the lead, and Florida State so tough to beat when they score first.
Which is a very common occurrence for the Noles, scoring in the first inning. They did so with the Torres homer in the first game today. They've scored 91 runs now in the first inning this year. That's the most of any inning that they have scored in, and they've scored a lot of runs this year, Karen.
It just sets the tone early for your team.
We're trying to get Michaela for the curtain call here, and there she comes.
S.J. Guerin's been falling behind a little bit more in this game as well. We did not see that. She came in relief in the first game today and really worked from ahead a little bit more. Not a lot of free passes for Florida State. But she's been falling behind, and when you fall behind, you've got to give in to the strike zone. And she finds herself behind here against Waycaser as well.
Waycaser takes low, 3-0. We just wonder how much gas Guerin has left in the tank. She has been called on to do so much this weekend by the Tigers. I assume the Malveau's conversation was a quick one, like, you got the ball as long as you can go. You let us know.
And when you start a game, as you and I talked about at the end of last game, when you start a game, you can come out. So if you need a break or the score warrants itself, you can come out and re-enter later in the game. Again, when the score is what you would need it to be, maybe a little closer. You know, but if you don't start a game and you come in the game, then you've just got to hang in there as long as you can, because you can't re-enter if you come out. But that was a 4-pitch walk. Haley Waycaser.
Well, the 2-out, 2-run home run for Edenfield has opened the scoring, and now with a runner at first and 2 outs, here's Jason Beecham. Was after the first pitch, sends it to straightaway center, and backing up, Abby Smith makes the catch. But the senior leader, Michaela Edenfield, responds early.
Well, big-time players step up in big-time moments. Michaela Edenfield gets the Seminoles on the board.
Of course, Florida State won it back in 2018. Michaela Edenfield's 2-run homer has given them a 2-0 lead. We go to the top of the second of this decisive game in Tallahassee. Amelia Leck, the DP, leads off, swings, ground ball, base hit. Wasn't much of a hole there on the left side, and she found it. And Leck, who was hitless in the first game today, has her 6th hit of the regional.
Really impressed with Auburn's adjustments here. Saw a lot of up ball pitchers in the first game. They were able to drive the ball deep, and now they're taking what the pitch gives them. So we've seen 3 singles, all just flared through the infield.
Georgia Lessman going to come in and run here at first base for Leck. Auburn has put the leadoff batter aboard here in the first 2 innings. And here's Isis Tresvik. He had a huge hit in the earlier game today against the Noles. A 2-run double in the 4th inning that kept off a 3-run inning. Got activity in the bullpen. Haley Rainey, who started the first game, is up, as is Milena Tambora. Take it on 2-0. Tresvik looks at a strike. That off-speed pitch has been there a little and sometimes not.
Yeah, just hasn't quite been consistent with it. We saw it already yesterday. She kind of found it back in the first inning, and you know that's a big reason why she's been behind with a lot of the Auburn hitters. That off-speed pitch has not been consistent for a strike.
Ooh. Maybe low. Ball 4. First walk handed out by Danley. And just like the first inning, Auburn has the first 2 runners aboard. Here's the catcher, Aubrey Lisenby. Shortens up, lays down a bunch. He's going to advance each runner 60 feet, and that throw, Beecham, was a little wide, but Hartley was able to stretch. Keep that from going down the line and right. Lisenby's happy with her successful sacrifice as she gets back to the dugout.
I mean, you would think this is her first game of the season. The way her enthusiasm and energy level is on offense, on defense. I mean, she's been going strong in the emotion department.
Strike one to Abby Smith.
Well, this is where it gets really tough for the Florida State defense. You don't have time to check the runners anywhere with Abby Smith. It's got to be a lot of communication on the field, where to go with the ball. It's got to be 4 right away or throw the 1 right away. If you check for just a second or bobble for a second, Abby Smith will be safe. So this is an ideal situation here for Auburn, creating some busy minds on the infielders. They've got to think about a few things here with less than 2 outs.
That gets Danley ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Lessman and Tresvik on base in scoring position for the Tigers. Two pitches so far for Danley. And again, it's a really well-rested bullpen for the Seminoles for this game. Lined a soft liner right at Hartley. Round number 2. Wasn't a bad idea, just hit it right at the second baseman.
It's really good at bat for Abby Smith. You know, when she got to 2 strikes, she had to go to that slap game. And that goes down as a quality at bat, but nothing to show for it outside of that.
Back to the top of the order. Nelia Peralta takes a strike. Peralta singled to left center field to begin the game. And an RBI double off the Noles late in the earlier game today. Second and third now with 2 outs. Danley got her to reach for that one that time and fouls it away, and ball and 2 strikes. Auburn has scored 24 runs with 2 outs this weekend, including 7 in the first game today against Florida State. Popped up on the infield, and right near second base, Torres makes the catch. Auburn can't find that 2-out magic here in the top of the second, and it remains 2-0 Seminoles. Maya Ross shortens up, takes a strike. Bottom 3 in the order for the Seminoles. Guerin in the relief outing against Florida State earlier today. 5 innings, allowed only 2 hits with 1 walk. So he gave up 2 hits and 1 walk in the first inning of this game. And a 2-run home run to Michaela Edenfield. Ross, Bueno, Hartley, the 3 scheduled for Florida State. Got the call on the inside corner that time. And it's 2-2. Aaron able to come back and strike out Amaya Ross. She gets her first strikeout of this game.
Well, Ross only got 1 swing in that at-bat, and it was against a ball out of the zone, but because she was behind in the count, she had to protect. That's a defensive swing. Let a couple go earlier in the count that were a little bit better pitches for her to hit.
1 down for Angeli Bueno. Bueno 0 for 2 with a walk in the first game today. Lined out to center her last time up. That was her hardest ball that she hit against Guerin. .25 pitches so far from Guerin with 1 out in the second. Two-1 is hit in the air to center field. There's Abby Smith. Bueno went in that direction again, but flies out to center field.
Now batting, number 27, Christina Hartley.
And with the bases empty, there's Christina Hartley. In strike one. Here it gets ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. S.J. Guerin going above and beyond for the Auburn Tigers. How long can she go? 30th pitch of this one for her is up and away. One-two pitch from the lefty. And a strikeout ends the inning. So Guerin has a clean inning there and sets the side down in order, striking out 2.
S.J. Guerin giving it all she has in this winner-take-all game, using that curveball.
Two, 3, and 4 hitters for the Tigers, and Annalie Adams, the freshman, leads off. She had a base hit, a single to left center her first time up in this one. Little check swing, slow roller. Danley fields her position well and gets the out at first base. Ashton Danley's a two-way player. She knows her way around there with the glove.
Oh, that's a little bit of an excuse me swing from Adams. But look at the athleticism of Danley. Gets around the ball as a left-handed pitcher, squares her feet over to first base. Against a lot of pitchers in the circle, that would be a base hit, but not against Ashton Danley. Such a good athlete out there in the circle.
KK McCrary's home run that I mentioned got him going in the 4th inning of the first game today, tied it up, and propelled the offense to that impressive showing. Can they find some offense against Ashton Danley? They put the first 2 runners on base in the 1st inning and the 2nd inning without scoring. But Danley has retired the leadoff hitter here in the 3rd for the first time in the game.
Well, she's really had to work in this game to keep the 0 on the scoreboard, because she works a drop changeup combination, and that changeup has not been consistent for a strike. So she's fallen behind, as she has now here again against McCrary.
It's the 3-0 pitch over. Always a great crowd at Joanne Graff Field. The sun has come back out. It was hidden behind some clouds the earlier game today. That's to third. Diving stop. Beecham from a knee. Dug out at first base by Bueno.
This is some outstanding corner play from Florida State. Look how low Beecham stays. Her glove never comes up off the ground. Knows she has to throw it from her knees. And the only thing better than that stop was the scoop from Bueno as she tracks the ball, keeps her glove low to the ground, secures it with her throwing hand. Danley works back from being behind to create the out.
McCrary was trying to argue that Bueno kind of fumbled the ball, but she didn't. She just brought in her bare hand to finish the catch. It was clean all the way, so 2 outs. Base is empty. Hannah Wohlers hit a 3-run home run in the 5th inning of the earlier game today against Florida State. 10th of the year.
And there's that off-speed pitch from Danley. When it's on, it is so tough to hit. It's not only slower speed, it's got that dive and that tumble right into the ground.
That one got away a little bit.
That's a setup pitch. You know, she doesn't really throw up in the zone as evidenced by that pitch, but it just gives the hitter something else to think about. Change the eye level of the hitter. It's just setting up something down in the zone here for Danley.
Bounce towards the middle, off the glove of Hartley. Tried to circle that one and get it in the mid, but it kicks off. Neither team committed an error in the first game today. That looks like it's the first one of this one. Keeps the Auburn third going for Rose Roach. One hopper to Torres. She's got plenty of time to throw to first, and that retires the side. Auburn has been kept off the board, and they have stranded 5. The bottom of the 4th inning, K. McCrary homered to tie the game. 4 batters later, they wound up taking the lead and went to the next inning on a Wohlers, hit a 3-run home run, and that was followed by Rose Roach. They went back-to-back, part of a 4-run inning. Quieted the Joanne Graff Field crowd here, and Auburn won the first game. Final of 8-3 to set up this decisive 7th game, and S.J. Guerin pitched the last 5 innings and has started here and pitched through the first couple so far in game 7. There's what's at stake. Auburn's trying to make it to the Supers for just the 4th time in school history, first time since 2017. Florida State looking to go for a 12th time to the Supers. At the top of the order up here for the Noles. Torres, a bunt base hit and scored on the Edenfield home run in the 1st inning.
And Torres is so tough to defend. She leads the country in hits. And the reason why, she is a true triple threat. We saw her bunt her way on base in the 1st inning. She had a home run last game from the leadoff spot. So the infield's got to play tight. Outfield's got to play back. That opens up a lot of holes for Isa Torres to get hits.
Torres is 7 for 12 this weekend 2 hits in each of the first 3 games. 1 for 1 so far today in this second game. Torres sends it to left field shallow. Coming in, McCrary able to get there and make the play. A big leadoff out for S.J. Guerin. Now set down the last 5 Knowles hitters. Here's Janai Kerr. Going after the first pitch, Kerr sends it to medium left center. Abby Smith, 2 fly ball outs. You know, if you're Auburn, these quicker outs should mean getting a little bit more out of Guerin, because you never know when the end's going to come here, as many pitches as she's thrown this weekend.
And I like the adjustment Auburn has made with her sequencing of pitches. Florida State jumping on S.J. Guerin's first pitch. They had a lot of success, and so they've thrown a lot of off-speed pitches on the first pitch. And those 2 outs you saw from Torres and Kerr, really out on the front foot, weak fly ball outs. You see a lot of those fly ball outs for Guerin, really 2-to-1 in terms of fly ball, ground ball. But you are right, the less time she can put her arm in a circle, the better for Auburn.
It looks like she's going to get a quick inning here. Who wants it? First baseman calling for it. Annalie Adams makes the catch. 7 in a row retired by Guerin. When we come back, we'll visit with one of the co-head coaches here. And how long can you hang with her?
Well, I think at the end of the day, she did a really good job for us in game 1. And when you feel it, you're just going to keep riding that and see how long you can take her and kind of go from there. We've got good options to come in behind her, but whenever you've got good feet underneath you and you feel like you're grooving, you just let her keep grooving.
Well, Coach, speaking of grooving, your offense has been grooving in this regional. A lot of runners on base so far today, though. Not that timely hit we've been seeing in the regional. What do you like to see from your hitters against Danley?
Well, I think Danley's doing a really good job of mixing speeds, and so that's always what makes it tough, and that's what makes her tough. So we just lock in, again, on what we want and don't pay attention to the rest of it and just get ours and go. So that's the plan, is we're going to lock in, and we're just going to keep punching away at it.
Thanks for the time to chat. Appreciate it, Kate.
Thank y'all, War Eagle.
Kate Malveaux. That voice just gets scratchier as the weekend goes along, as we said, and that's just from overuse of the vocal cords. She runs them pretty hard.
Full throttle, as I like to say. Full throttle. She is high energy. You spend 5 minutes around Kate Malveaux, and you can't help but have a good day with all that energy she brings. And yeah, that voice here, the regional final, is struggling a little bit because of that.
Amelia Leck leads off. Top of the 4th. 2 runs, 2 hits for Florida State. The 2-run homer from Edenfield in the first. Auburn has been shut out on 3 hits, 3 singles, 1 each from Peralta, Adams, and this hitter right here, Amelia Leck. Sunny, humid, mid-90s again in Tallahassee. But knock on wood, no precipitation this end of the weekend. Hot smash. Beecham couldn't come up with it cleanly. We'll see how they score, but that was pretty well struck by Leck. That could very easily be her second hit of this game.
I mean, Amelia Leck has had herself a regional, just so consistent with her swing, so balanced and on time. And Beecham gets over there, but look at her feet are all tangled up. She does not get a good fielding stance and get over in front of that ball. She's actually still moving to the ball. And in this case, Amelia Leck, as the DP, she's already been run for in this game. So if they want her, which you know they do, she's been one of the best hitters in this regional, she's going to have to stay in the game and run for herself. So if they run for her this second time, she'd have to be out of the game permanently.
Her 3rd multi-hit game of the regionals. They do score that a base hit.
Now batting number 3, Isis Tresvik.
There's Isis Tresvik. Aces walked in the second inning. Watched her last several plate appearances today and in the earlier game. It looks like she's kind of gone up there, taking a strike initially. And that approach has worked because a lot of times she's gotten ahead in the count like she does here.
Yeah, she has been. Just, you know, she was going through a little rough patch coming into this regional, even through the early games of the regional, but she's come on strong today. And when you find a rhythm that works for you, you know, you stick with it.
The infield huddles up for the Noles.
We've seen the Noles pitching staff fall behind a lot today, and that is very uncharacteristic. They're second in the country in terms of the least amount of walks given up. We saw some walks given up in the first game. Danley falling behind in this game, just the one walk so far today. But she's been pitching from behind, and that is very atypical of Danley. Again, mainly because of that off-speed pitch, just does not have command of it today.
That was her fourth 2-0 count, and now she's fallen behind 3-0 here to Tresvik. A pretty good chance Tresvik's going to be taking this pitch regardless. She does, and it's ball 4. Yeah. The first two are on for the Tigers in the fourth. Well, the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. The action begins Thursday, May 29th, noon Eastern, live here on ESPN. For more information on the 2025 Women's College World Series, go to ncaa.com. The official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Well, Auburn has stranded 5 runners in this game through the first 3 innings. They have 2 more on here. Lisenby, the catcher, taking strike 1. Laid down a sac bunt in her first plate appearance 2 innings ago. Slow ground ball to second. Hartley flips for 1. The throw to first in time. Runner coming for the plate, and they get 3 outs on 1 play and get out of the inning.
To beat in the month of May in the postseason, and a big reason is this home crowd.
Hard shot on the ground at third base. Peralta snags it and throws out Edenfield. His 2-run homer, her first time up, has accounted for all the scoring so far in this decisive Game 7.
Now batting number 1, Callie Wakeser.
Waycaser earned a walk in her first plate appearance against Guerin. You know, it's not uncommon for a defensive play to be a spark starter for a team. But in softball, triple plays, you just don't come across those very often. I mean, heck, because of the dimensions of the field, double plays can be difficult to get sometimes, much less 3.
And typical to even get a double play, the ball's got to be hit hard.
Yes.
You got to have some pace because of the short distance, 60 feet to run from home to first base. That ball was not well hit to Hartley, but they were still able to turn 2 and had the added bonus of the trail runner trying to score. Just good heads-up defense, too, having their heads on a swivel and recognizing Leck trying to score.
That hit Waycaser, and wait a minute, he's going to bring her back. Or is he? Nope, he's going to let her go. I thought for a moment he was pointing down for her to come back, but it is a hit by pitch of Waycaser.
And what we're looking for here, the batter has the right to the box. You know, where's that elbow? Is it in the box? Does not appear. She moves it out over the strike zone, just holds her ground in the box. That is indeed a hit by pitch and a free pass for Florida State.
Riker Chase and the pitching coach of the Auburn Tigers coming out. Well, that ends a string. 8 in a row retired by Guerin. The hit by pitch. Last batter to reach was Waycaser with a walk after the Edenfield home run in the first. And I purposely asked Kate Malveaux about Guerin to hear the words she said, and that was basically, we're going to ride Guerin as long as she can go. By the way, the triple play turned by the Seminoles in the top of the inning. Their first in over 8 years. The last one they turned was April 1st, 2017. Beecham fly to center in the first inning. Right in the kitchen of Beecham. Fouled it off the body. No balls, 2 strikes. Off the end of the bat, popped into shallow center right behind second base. Roach drifts out to make the play.
Yeah, you're talking about S.J. Guerin and her ability to continue to pitch in this game, and that's why Florida State really pitches by committee. They want to have options at this time of year. What you don't want is how S.J. Guerin is feeling right now, which is, you know, really pitching on a lot of willpower. She's able to get it done, showing you just her fortitude and her grit. She's still able to create outs, and she's able to create outs because she's been having good command so far today, really still stretching the outer part, inner part of the plate. But she still has her mix of speed. She doesn't throw just one speed. She doesn't even throw 2. She throws 3. Very difficult to time up, get out on that front foot. And that's why you see a lot of weak fly balls.
We visited with Guerin on Thursday. She's a very mild-mannered individual. In the circle, you rarely see her change emotion. Occasionally a little bit of a smile will come across, but for the most part, she just plays it straight most of the time out there.
You know, and you've got to play to your personality. You've got to pitch to your personality. If S.J. Guerin was fist pumping and high-fiving and screaming and shouting, it would take her right out of her game. You've got to learn that early on. Where's my best place to be? And you think about other pitchers. If they were calm, cool, and collected, that wouldn't work for them. So that rhythm really works for her.
The ball is hit pretty well to left center field, but within range of Abby Smith to make the catch. So Guerin works around that hit by pitch, and the Noles strand their second base runner. 9-1 and 2 hitters for the Tigers. Starting to get late in this game. We're in the top of the 5th. Abby hit a soft liner to second base her first time up. This would be the player to kind of get a rally started.
Yeah, and that might be the first time we have seen Abby Smith even foul off a bunt. Typically so good at getting that pitch down in the dirt. And she is one of the fastest base runners I know I've seen across the country this season. And the infield is playing very tight. Not a lot of extra base hits for Smith. She's trying to use the ground.
Checked her swing, but takes strike 3 from Danley. And Ashton picks up her 3rd strikeout, first since the first inning.
And this is the first time she's retired the leadoff batter of the game. It's a drop ball breaking away from Smith. She doesn't even offer at it. Just that late sharp break on the outside corner. Outstanding pitch from Ashton Danley.
Lineup turns over for a 3rd time for the Tigers. So there's Nelia Peralta. Peralta began the game with a base hit to left. Auburn has actually picked up 4 hits, only 2 hits for Florida State, but Noles have the lead on the 2-run homer by Edenfield in the first inning. The last inning on offense for the Tigers in the 4th ended with an ending triple play. Loaded it in, but off the outside corner.
I just can't get that off-speed pitch to be consistent. Typically, that is her bread and butter pitch. She's still mixing speeds, but not able to throw that for a strike consistently. And sometimes when that happens, you gotta stick with it. It's a pitch she believes in between innings. You can head down to the bullpen, just work on it, and this is a sign the type of pitcher Ashton Danley is. Can you still put your team in a position to win even when you don't have your best stuff?
You and I were here a year ago when these same 2 schools played for the Super Regional bid. It did not go to a decisive 7th game, but the 6th game on the regional final Sunday was obviously won by Florida State. Danley was the winning pitcher in that game. That helped send them to the Super Regionals. She's trying to do it for a 2nd consecutive year. And she loses Peralta and a 1-out base runner. Make sure you do not miss a minute of the action. These NCAA softball regionals will take you to the best live action on the 7 Innings live show on the ESPN app. You can see every game as well as every big moment on the road to Oklahoma City in the Women's College World Series, only on the ESPN networks. 70th pitch of the game from Ashton Danley down low. Auburn has had these opportunities in this game. They have just fallen a bit short so far today.
And this team is gritty. We've watched it happen at the regionals, watched it happen all season long. They know how to play with their backs against the wall.
Ball squirts away, and it's going to allow Peralta to advance to 2nd. Wild pitch advances Peralta. Adams has the count in her favor, 2-0. She singled in the 1st. Could have come back her to Danley last time.
Now, we've talked about it before in this regional. You just get the feeling that Auburn, they really find that extra gear once they're behind. It's like, oh, okay, game on. Here we go. We've got to step it up a notch. And this team knows how to outlast other teams. They know how to battle and fight back.
Ground ball to 2nd base. Hartley throws her out. Tigers now 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position in this game. That does advance Peralta over to 3rd. She is there with 2 outs. This seems like a really big run at 3rd base for Auburn, for them to get back in this game. The Prairie's had some key hits. 0 for 2 in this game with a strikeout and a ground out, but a homer in the earlier game against the Noles.
Well, and despite Danley just falling behind to a lot of hitters and having a lot of base runners, it's been the defense for Florida State that's really stepped up. And they've needed to make a play. They've been able to make that behind Danley and cut down a lot of those runners.
Shortened up. Takes it down low.
And the job for Edenfield just becomes that much more challenging when you've got a drop ball pitcher in the circle. So the ball's going to go in the bottom half of the zone. A changeup in the bottom of the zone that really hasn't been impactful today. It's bouncing a lot. Michaela Edenfield's really got to get her body in front of the ball to prevent the run. She does so there.
That's a strike. This is the 3rd time in the game that Auburn's gotten a runner to 3rd base. Not been able to bring one in as of yet. Peralta at third with 2 outs. 2-0 Florida State in this decisive 7th game of the Tallahassee Regional. Winner heads to the Supers. That Show Me Rise ball's eventually destined to hit the backstop with the way she's been throwing that today.
Kind of an interesting time to throw it, because she does not throw it for a strike. She was already behind in the count, and now it's 3-1. Good pitch from McCrary to hit potentially here is.
And she took it. Good location though for the most part. Kept it mostly down, and it's a full count. Here comes a 3-2 pitch from Danley to McCrary, and it's inside ball 4. Second walk of the inning. 4th of the game for Danley.
That is very uncharacteristic for Danley, who usually hammers the strike zone, but she's had to rely on her higher velocity pitches, which mainly means that drop ball down in the zone. That off-speed pitch, she just can't find that rhythm, which makes her a different pitcher out there when you can time up Ashton Danley versus worrying about her mixing speeds.
He gets to a spot in the order, though, where Auburn has back-to-back lefties. Rollers here. If the inning were to continue, you got Roach, another lefty on deck. Strikeout, and Rollers has reached on an error. Runners at the corners, 2 down. Auburn trying to plate their first run, and Danley gets a strike over to even it.
And how about the competitor in Ashton Danley? She knows that her off-speed pitch has not been consistent today, but she has the confidence to still throw it. What comes with back-to-back off-speed pitches here in a big moment of this game.
Rollers hit a 3-run home run in the earlier game today against Florida State. 10th home run of the year. Big spot here. First and third, 2 outs. Drama builds as it goes to a full count. That was the 25th pitch of the inning for Ashton Danley. Up to 84 overall. Runner from first can get off the bag as soon as the ball leaves the hand of Danley, and it's hit down the left field side, foul. Another step or two, and Kerr might have gotten to that. Auburn stranded 2 in the first, stranded 2 more in the second, left 1 in the third. Get into a triple play to end the fourth, so they didn't leave anybody in that last inning. 2 more on here, and another 3-2 pitch. And that loads the bases. 3 walks in the inning from Danley. Another lefty comes up in Rose Roach. With 2 at-bats today against Danley, has popped to second and grounded to short. Roach had a solo home run in the first game today.
And right now, those pitches aren't competitive pitches. Michaela Edenfield wants to go out and talk to Danley. You know, they're not challenging. That's not a tough decision for Rose Roach when the pitch is up and out of the zone. And that's not a zone that Danley typically lives, especially early in the count. But just a reset. The defense has really, for lack of better terms, bailed her out a lot of these innings with runners in scoring position. But when you're throwing balls outside of the zone and making it pretty easy for Auburn to draw the walks here, that's been the challenge for Danley.
And there's Jazzy Francic rolling around in the bullpen, freshman sensation. And after that visit, Danley finds the strike zone. Balls in a strike. Peralta, McCrary, Rollers, all aboard for the Tigers. It's decisive 7th game from Tallahassee. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball, diving stop, throw to third, got her, force play. The call on the field is out. I don't think there's any doubt. The Tigers are going to use one of their 2 challenges here. There's no reason not to. But if the call stands, it would get the Noles out of the inning. Right now,
Auburn,
call on the field is out.
Out call at third base. The following play is under review.
Now with the bases loaded, Torres had a force anywhere. And she wisely chose the short route, but it was a bang-bang play. Let's look at it.
First of all, how about the effort to just keep it in the infield? And since the ball is traveling to third, Beecham could have helped her out a little bit by getting closer on the stride to Isa Torres. She actually switches her feet, Beecham does.
Now, obviously, it's not a tag play, so we're not looking at that. It's just when the foot hits the bag and the ball goes in the glove of Beecham. Man, this is close. You know, if this were overturned, it's a run for Auburn and the inning continues. So this is huge here. So the looks they get in the Pittsburgh Command Center for replay are vital. It's tough to tell here when the ball's in the glove, but it's right about the same time the foot hits. This may be the best angle that we have right here.
And the key is that Beecham switches her feet at the last second. And you're looking to see if the foot, the sliding foot of McCrary touches the base before the glove. It is very close. Remember, it has to be indisputable evidence to overturn. The call on the field was out.
Is the ball in the mitt when the left foot comes down on the base, because it's elevated there and she has to bring it down? The fact that the call on the field is out, from what I'm seeing, and I'll let you give your angle of it here, Carol, I'm not seeing indisputable evidence to overturn the out call on the field.
Yeah, I agree, and that's a, you know, it's a tough play for Beecham. She did get her feet switched around a little bit. Remember, she's reacting to the ball first. She's reacting to the ball, and once she sees Torres actually stops the ball, she's got to see she's retreating to the base. So she's switching her feet, trying to catch the ball, find the base at the same time. Beecham gets the base right there. Can't really see. It looks like her foot isn't to the base yet there, Mark, so I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't see anything that can overturn this. I mean, it's just razor thin, and this is obviously a massively huge call that could get Auburn right back in the game and continue the inning. I do not envy the replay officials in Pittsburgh right now making the decision on this. But from what we have seen in that last angle, we tightened it up a little bit and kind of focused in. Yeah. I just don't think it's indisputable that she's safe, so that you have to stay with the out call here. Cade Malvo point, get to that base, get to that base.
I can't say enough about Isa Torres too, and her
Yeah.
her all-out effort, quick feet, slick glove work, just to knock the ball down. That ball gets down and through it's not only one run that's going to score, potential to tie the game. So just keeping the ball in the infield and giving her team a chance for the out at third base. I mean, that we've seen this defense for Florida State step up this entire game to get them out of some really dicey, should I say, innings for Auburn, as they've had a lot of base runners.
All right, here we go. Lyndon Baptiste with the ruling.
After review, the call on the field is upheld. Runner is out.
Inning is over, and it remains 2-0 Noles. Bueno, a little flare out to left center, but it hangs up.
Some speed and can run some balls down. Those are pitchers' best friends.
McKenzie comes in to hit here. Freshman Shelby McKenzie. Batting in the 9th spot here for Hartley. It takes ball 1. S.J. Garrett has kept Auburn in this game since the early home run from Edenfield. That ball blasted deep right, and the freshman off the bench, McKenzie, gives the Noles some breathing room with a solo bomb. Talk about a big moment for a freshman. There's one right here.
And making the most of her opportunity. This pitch is elevated in the zone. Remember, this is her first at-bat of the game. Does not matter for Shelby McKenzie. She's been in a pinch hitting role the majority of the season, hitting over 500 in that role. No bigger swings than that one for the home run.
And not her first home run. That bunt laid down. Torres out. Now we'll see if Lonnie Alameda wants to use one of her challenges, and that will be the case. After McKenzie's second home run of the regional has made it 3-0. Now they're wanting the freshman to make a curtain call, and she does.
Florida State is Townsend Yack on the first base. The following plays under review.
Remember, each team gets 2 video review challenges throughout the entire game. Once we get to the 6th inning, the umpires can review anything they'd like to, and scoring plays as well. But Florida State has not used a challenge. That was a very close play over there at first base. We see what Issa Torres is trying to do. She wants to bunt the ball to the left-handed pitcher, because this is a tough play for S.J. Guerin. She's got to wheel all the way around.
After review, the call on the field is upheld. The runner is out. That's Florida State's first challenge.
All right, so Torres is retired. 2 outs now in the inning. Base is empty for Janai Kerr. Strike 1 paints the outside corner. Kerr with a ground ball out and a fly ball to center. Two home runs in this game have been the difference for Florida State. The 2-run homer in the first from Michaela Edenfield. And then freshman Shelby McKenzie off the bench here in the 5th with a solo shot. And I'm impressed with S.J. Guerin. I mean, she has gutted this thing out into the 5th inning and kept her team really in the game.
Yeah, there's really no other word for it. That is very appropriate. Gutting it out, just finding that will. And she's made competitive pitches. And again, it's her ability to mix speeds. She's never been that pitcher to blow it by anybody. She's not a power pitcher. She's more crafty, junky, spinny. And she's been able to rely on that here in the if game of the regional final.
Took a big hack at that 2-2 offering. Like a rocket right back to the backstop.
And we've seen this a lot this weekend from Janai Kerr. Before she gets to 2 strikes, I mean, she does not get cheated. She has taken a big swing, but we've also seen her become very good with her barrel control and earn her way on base with some base hits as she gets behind in the count. And that's just an experienced veteran, knowing the strike zone, being able to control the barrel, pulls the inside pitch. She's able to go with the opposite field hit.
3-2 pitch. Kerr works the walk. It's just the 2nd walk given out by Guerin today. Well, the winner of this Tallahassee Regional will take on the winner of the Texas Tech Mississippi State Lubbock Regional. Florida State's able to hold on and win this game, they would host the Supers here in Tallahassee next week. That ball's pulled foul by Katie Dack. Each time she's hit the ball to the left side. It's grounded out to third and popped out in that direction. Guerin trying to get this final out of the 5th, and you look at her pitch count, she's been pretty efficient, only 64 pitches to this point.
And a lot of that, Florida State has been very aggressive early in the counts. That pitch is near the zone, and well, that saves going into deep into pitch counts as well.
Two balls and a strike, and this time Lisenby wants to talk about some stuff.
Lisenby has held this role for Auburn since the day she got to Tallahassee. I mean, she's leading her pitching staff, and specifically S.J. Guerin. And she's done it at the plate in the 8-batter position, a lot of hits, and really the cheerleader in that dugout. And it's not easy. This is Auburn's 5th game of the regional. So they lost in extra innings the first game against South Florida, bounced back yesterday, had 2 victories against Robert Morris, then South Florida again in extra innings. And with the victory here earlier against Florida State, I mean, it's tough to play 2 or 3 games on a weekend, let alone 5.
And a remarkable run, as you mentioned. They lose the first game on Friday in extra innings to South Florida. Now their route is from the losers bracket, and they have to win 4 straight games to get out of this regional. Well, they've gotten 75% of the way there. Can they come back and finish it off? We'll see. Coming from behind has been the specialty for the Tigers, as they've had to come from behind in all 3 of their wins here. Command for Guerin starting to slip a little bit here, just trying to get this final out of the 5th. Favorable count here for Dack on 3-1. And that's a walk. So back-to-back 2-out walks. And had Auburn not gotten the out of Torres at first on that close play, it'd be a bigger mess right now. It'd be bases loaded, 1 out instead of first and second, 2 outs. But Here comes Michaela. Edenfield's 2-run homer in the first open the scoring. Good location from Guerin for strike one.
She's been able to tuck that curveball in to these power hitters in the Florida State lineup. Ball's breaking in on the knees. Very difficult pitch for a power hitter. Can't get extension on the barrel.
Jay Guerin battling the heat, battling fatigue, battling the Seminoles. And a base hit to left field. Kerr's going to be stopped at third as the throw comes in from McCrary. A sharp single for Edwards loads the bases with 2 outs.
Style or substance? Or here's another choice. Don't stop until you have everything in the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate. We are professional grade.
Michaela Edenfield is patient, knows that pitch is coming again on the inner half, keeps her hands inside, is able to hit it hard into the ground, but it's McCrary's playing pretty shallow on Michaela Edenfield, and no chance there for the RBI.
Well, they're loaded for Waycaser. Now he takes ball one. You probably noticed the issue. Lisenby has an issue with throwing the ball back to the pitcher. So when she walks it back mostly to the pitcher, this time she's out for a conversation as well. But when you have the bases loaded, any pitch that's not put in play, it requires the first baseman, in this instance, Adams, to come down and just kind of protect the plate while she walks it out back to the pitcher. And the bases are full of Seminoles right now. There's a strike. And you'll see Adams come down the line, cover the plate.
National Freshman of the Year, the 84 strikeouts in 87 innings pitched. And you're going to see her throw the ball with good velocity through all 4 quadrants. Mainly likes the drop curve combination down in the zone, and she's always lived down in the zone the majority of her career, and she's really developed that rise ball over the last year here at Florida State.
Her second appearance of the regionals, she threw an inning in relief against South Florida yesterday. No runs, 1 hit through 23 pitches, and a Leck. A liner into foul ground, and Beecham goes over to snag it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Jason E. Beecham's had a lot of action over here at third base. Defense starts with your feet, and just taking that crossover step with no wasted motion, going right to the ball. She's able to get that glove up and snag the line drive.
Westvick takes the first pitch strike. A couple of walks for Isis in this game. The hill's just gotten a little larger to climb for Auburn. After the McKenzie homer in the last inning has made it 3-0 Florida State. Again, the winner takes the regional and heads to the Super Regionals next week. Visited with Francic on Thursday. I don't know about you, Carol. It was my first chance to talk in person with Jazzy and came away very impressed with her cerebral approach on and off the field.
A very impressive young lady, really studies pitching.
Did she? No. Tony Williams' call, not a popular one here, but
well, there was a lot of body motion from Isis Tresvik. Look how much her body commits. And you look at that barrel, and it sure did go across home plate there, Mark. You understand why this crowd got a little bit noisy.
And a bouncy ball through the hole and into right field. Tresvik with a one-out single. You know, tonight's Sunday Night Baseball matchup, the Subway Series finale between Pete Alonso, former pinstriper Juan Soto, and the Mets taking on Aaron Judge and the Yankees. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific here on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight's Sunday Night Countdown. What a fun rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball. Well, the outs are starting to dwindle here for the Tigers. They do have a one-out base runner. Lisenby was laid down a sac bunt and hit into a inning-ending triple play back in the 4th. Strike. And Francic gets ahead 1-2.
You mentioned Francic being such a cerebral pitcher. She called her own games in high school and travel ball, so has a really good understanding of where batters are standing in the box, where she needs to move the ball to get that swing and miss or create that out.
Little bloop out towards Torres, who backs up to make the catch. Soft contact on Francic is the second out.
Now batting number 20, Abby Smith.
Here's the 9 spot in the order, and center fielder Abby Smith. Auburn has not had a 2-out hit in this game. That has been unlike the rest of the regional to this point. Smith set a soft liner to second and struck out. Had a very good couple of games yesterday, the elimination games won by Auburn. Takes a strike.
Something we've seen all season long from Jazzy Francic, even as a freshman, even in big moments, her ability to command all 4 parts of the zone.
When it's 70 miles per hour, certainly Francic has that kind of velocity. Smith trying to keep the inning alive for the Tigers. The 2-2. Close pitch, Edenfield. But she may find Tresvik a little distracted, trying to pick her off at first. Full count now, though, with 2 outs, so Tresvik can get off the base and get a running start as soon as the ball leaves the hand of Francic. Three-2 pitch.
And remember, with Abby Smith, just the blazing speed she has, she forces you to field the ball cleanly. If she can find a way on base, this Auburn lineup will turn over back to Peralta in the top.
That is high, ball 4. And the Tigers are going to get the tying run to the plate. Now nobody covering third. Oh, the ball rolls away. It's still live. Tresvik is hurt. Time is called.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, it's his job to keep the power on. That's why he chooses Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call, click, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The athletic trainer has come out. Very risky move from Tresvik. Not sure if she collided with Beecham or was just her tumble into the base trying to get there. So the pitch was ball 4. You see Tresvik running, and then she gets to second and then notices, I think she sees an opportunity, but Beecham was able to get back to the base, but as she did, got there about the same time as Tresvik. And Tresvik knocked the ball out of the glove. I mean, if Beecham was able to hang on to that, that probably would have been the out to end the inning.
That's quite the collision over there at third base, and glad to see Isis Tresvik is in a drink of water and going to be okay and stay in this game. But typically we see Florida State take advantage of these opportunities and take the extra 60 feet. That's just a good heads-up play by Isis Tresvik as Jason Beecham really just left the base. You saw Michaela Edenfield pointing with her glove from the catching position. Hey, nobody's there. Just a mental mistake from Beecham to leave third base, not thinking that Tresvik would take off to third. But now Auburn has 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Smith took the opportunity to go to second, so a hit here could make this a 1-run game. Auburn down 3-0 and really down to their last 4 outs, but a chance here in the 6th. Trying to get on the board. Peralta has been on base twice. Two-0 count. Elias singled in the first to begin the game. Popped out to short in the second. Walked in the 5th and was strained.
Amy has pitched over 116 innings so far this season. They turn to her. Give Guerin a little bit of a break.
6, 7, and 8 batters. Beecham leads off. Florida State knows they're going to take at least a 3-run lead to the 7th. Winner of this game takes the regional and heads to the super regional round. In the 2 innings Rainey pitched in the first game today against Florida State, gave up 1 run, and that came on the 2nd pitch she threw in the game when Isa Torres homered to left center field. Well, what an effort by S.J. Guerin. She's, wow, just what she has done this weekend. 382 pitches. Everything the Tigers asked of her, she gave and more this weekend.
Yeah, and you see there's no ice bag on that arm yet. You know, don't be surprised if Auburn can find some magic here, some of that come from behind magic they've had all season long in the 7th. The day may not be over yet for S.J. Guerin.
Little foul. One for 2 in this game for Jason E. A fly ball to center and a pop out to second. Right near the bag at third, and Rollers can't field it cleanly. Down under the glove. Beecham is on. What probably is going to be the first error of the day for the Tigers.
Well, Beecham tops this ball, beats it right into the ground. She rolls over, and Wohlers peaks too soon, brings her glove up off the ground. A missed opportunity for the first out for Auburn.
Andy DeLong, who came into the game to play center field, is going to come up here and get a pinch runner. Beecham as well, as Weedra's come in to run for her. Andy DeLong trots down to get a quick word with third base coach Travis Wilson. Here he is, DeLong, for the first time in this game with the bat. And as well. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Florida State. No runs, 5 hits. Now 1 error for the Tigers. That one's foul. Lisenby played it out, but picked it up in foul territory. She's like, I just wanted to show everybody I can throw a strike down to first base.
You teach your players all the time. Don't play umpire. You play like there's no foul lines, you know, a lot of the time. Just play it out. Little smile on her face.
Runner goes, throw to second to the outfield side. And a steal for the former Tiger, Weedra.
Seen a lot more from Florida State of situational moving base runners. Weedra gets a great jump. When the ball's not there, you can go straight in. Don't need to be fancy. Stolen base for Weedra.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Haley Rainey's offering. It's going to loop over towards the dugout and get into the Tigers dugout. Florida State fell 8-3 to Auburn in the earlier game today to set up this decisive Game 7 the Tallahassee Regional. Winner off to the Super Regionals. Loser's season comes to an end. Rainey gets a big strikeout. First out of the inning. There's that side of the bracket. Number 5 national seed Florida State, and Auburn here. Winner moves on to face the winner Texas Tech, Mississippi State. Tech right now up 8-6 in that matchup. That game's in the top of the 6th. Well, there's a chance, depending on how these games play out, Marjorie Kennedy and Texas Tech could be here in Tallahassee next week. Still softball to play on both sides in Lubbock and here in Tallahassee today, though. Potter. And he looks at ball 1.
And we've seen this all weekend long from Florida State, really all season long. We saw the pinch hit home run from Shelby McKenzie, and Potter now in the game, Weedra in the game, stealing a base. They really use the depth of their roster. And when you play for Florida State, you've got to be prepared for any opportunity for your number to be called. You could be going out on defense, could be called upon to come in an offensive situation, get a bunt down. They, more than most teams in the country, really use their entire roster and their strengths to earn victories.
And he pumps in a strike there on 2-0. Off the high part of the zone, and Randy gets back in it at 2-2. Florida State trying to add on, leading 3-0, bottom of the 6th. That's towards left center field, and that's going to find a gap. Weidner comes in to score. Potter's at second. RBI double gives the Noles even more breathing room and makes it 4-0. Second double this year for Potter.
Well, Potter is hunting this low pitch in the zone. That's where Rainey likes to live. And she goes down to get it. It's not even a full swing, but it's a lot of bat speed to the ball. Not a swing you'd want to take a video of and send out as some great technique. Doesn't matter. The result is a double and an RBI.
Ball hammered foul. Hartley jumping on that first pitch. Still only one out in the inning. Well, the chore for Auburn has just gotten a little tougher for the 7th. Now going to trail it by at least 4. And if they're unable to come back in this game, we're going to look back at missed opportunities. They've stranded 10 runners on base in this game, Carol. Third base, that's fair. A throw goes across the diamond. The out is made there. Does allow Potter to advance over to third.
Well, you are so right. So many missed opportunities. Auburn has only been shut out one other time this season. And they've got their work cut out for them here as Florida State still looking to add to this lead and make it even more difficult for Auburn to stage one of those comebacks. More come from behind wins than any other team in Division I this year, but they've got a tall task today.
Nice block by Lisenby, keeps it up the third base line. Top of the order for Florida State and Issa Torres. Fool, Lisa.
You know, you talked a lot about Issa Torres and her offensive prowess, leads the country in hits. But what I'm equally impressed with is she's one of the top 5 in the country in terms of toughest to strike out. So not only is she productive when she swings the bat, but she's tough to strike out. So she's just that pesky hitter for a pitcher. You're like, what do I have to throw for you to swing and miss? And there you get a look. Just 4 strikeouts and 211 at bats.
He's behind in the count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Puts it in play to the right side. Gobbled up by Rose Roach and gets the out at first. But the Noles had a run. Last chance for Auburn. 4-0 Florida State.
The NCAA Softball Regional.
So their 12th total Super Regional. And 11th in the last 12 seasons. Auburn needs to rally to make it for the 4th time ever and the first time since 2017 to the Supers. Down to their final 3 outs. 2, 3, and 4 hitters up here for the Tigers. They trail it 4-0. Freshman Annalee Adams takes a strike. We got 9 seniors on this team for Auburn. Danger of playing their final game here. Slowly back to Francic. 1 out. You mentioned it earlier, Carol. Auburn's only been shut out 1 time this year, March 29th against Florida.
Now batting number 16.
Down to their last 2 outs. Beat the Knolls 8-3 earlier today to send it to this decisive 7th game. KK McCrary, a big reason why. She's 0 for 2 in this one with a walk. And Francic starts her with a strike. Francic came in last inning in the 6th, her 2nd inning of work. Trying to close it out for Danley, and a fly ball to right center. Corralled by Addie DeLong. Florida State 1 out away. And will return to the Super Regionals and hosting next week. Auburn down to their final strike. This looks playable, and for the 12th time in school history, Florida State headed to the Super Regionals. S.J. Garrett and Auburn gave it everything they had for a team that started SEC play 0-12. They made it to the decisive 7th game on the road at Florida State. What a finish to the season for the Tigers. They finished 35-24 on the year. But fall, Kalani Alameda's Knolls to win their 49th game of the season and play on.
Can't say enough about the grit from Auburn to fight in this regional, really fight the second half of the season. Such an impressive finish. Even more impressive, Florida State, we talk about their offense all the time. Today it was the 2 home runs that made the difference, and really the defense showing you how well-rounded this Florida State team is.